Welcome to What's the Scenario with PLRB, where we explore claims and coverage scenarios relevant to insurance professionals. I'm Tim Havler.
I'm Mike Brode.
I'm Dana Groden.
I'm Alice McClaney, a founder at Digipraise and the vice president of Gemcor.
Yay, welcome ladies. So exciting.
Ellie and Dana, what's the scenario?
An insured brought her diamond ring to a local jeweler for a routine cleaning. The jeweler found damage and recommended filing a claim. Our team checked the original appraisal on file, which raised questions about the identified break. However, close analysis confirmed a different break in the girdle. The insured was entitled to a like-kind replacement or cash if she surrendered the chipped stone. But the insured does not want to surrender the diamond for sentimental reasons.
Okay, great scenario. So, this is the first time for both of you. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves and what you do and who you work for?
Sure. So I'm Allison McClaney. My sister is Dana Groden. We have both been employed at Gemcor for over 20 years because our dad, Richard Heiss, started the company in 1984. We are jewelry valuation experts. We handle all things related to jewelry, replacements, salvage, appraisals, valuations. And he started the company in 1981 and has been exhibiting at PLRB since 1984. I came on board in 2000 and Dana in 2002. In 2020, we rolled out a second company called Digipraise, which does appraisal updates directly for the insureds. So Gemcor reviews appraisals for the carriers, but this was needed that the insureds had a way to update their appraisals. So I hold a patent on that, and that's a little bit about myself.
And following up Allison, so I'm Dana Groden. I am a graduate gemologist. I received my GG degree from the GIA in 2016. But as Ali said, I've been with Gemcor since 2002, and my role in Gemcor as Vice President of Claims is I oversee our claims team in valuations and replacements for the insurance industry. So Gemcor is uniquely positioned and has always been, since our founding, to uniquely serve the insurance industry. We're very blessed to have that specific clientele, and it allows us to, I think I've reviewed thousands and thousands and thousands of claims over my 20 plus years of experience. I also was honored, I think it was 2018, where I was actually featured as the guest lecturer for the PLRB jewelry module, which every year at PLRB, there's somebody that come up to our booth at PLRB that says, "Oh my God, I just saw you." Learning, and I learned so much. So that's very exciting, and we're really happy to be here today talking about these scenarios.
Awesome. Yeah, well, that's awesome. We appreciate your help. And yeah, it's always fun to see at our claims conference event, which is awesome. But Tim, I don't know, have we ever had a patent holder as a guest on the pod?
I don't think so. I think that's a first for us.
Yeah.
And by the way, Dana, I'd like to say I also saw that module. I believe I got CLE for it, so thank you very much.
All right.
You're very welcome. Quiz at the end. No.
In this claim, transitioning now, it sounds like the insured had some sentimental attachment to this ring, which I'm sure is a common thing with jewelry. Or were these earrings, or was this a ring? This was a ring.
This was a ring.
So in your experience, what are some kind of ways that, the insured gets sort of worked with and to try to satisfy them and keep the insurer satisfied and make sure we're abiding by the terms of the policy? What are some possible approaches here?
I'll handle this. I actually handle Gemcor Salvage. So when a claim involves a damaged stone and the claim is resolved, that stone does belong to the insurance company because they just paid out, whether through replacement or cash settlement, for the stone, and now they take possession of it. So I'm the one who works with the insureds on that side. While the claim is open, here you had an insured who just went in for a cleaning and suddenly was told to file a claim. And next thing she knows is she's being asked to send this stone in. So she's a little nervous. So step one is approaching it with empathy. Whether the the adjusters are certainly trained on speaking to customers with empathy. It's something you hear from the carriers all the time. Gemcor excels in this. So in this particular case, that first call didn't involve any empathy, but as we came in and were involved and we had the conversations with the insured, slowly we started making things right. In her particular case, the stone came to us, we inspected it, we did confirm it's definitely new damage, and it was a very small nick on the girdle. So one of the options we gave to this customer was, would you be interested in allowing us to repair the stone? We would be paid for that as part of the claim. And then we would tell the insurance company what your new weight is. And you would be compensated for a loss in value. So this way you can keep your original diamond. It's not going to look very different. It will be healthy, which will keep the damage from spreading, because now you have a little flaw that could just kind of break your stone if you hit it again there. And then you're left with two pieces. So let's catch it now. Let's repair it. And you can enjoy wearing the same stone. This was an heirloom stone in her family. So that was the resolution for this particular claim. Sometimes the customers insist on a new diamond because they don't want anything smaller. And then in those situations, with the permission of the insurance company, when we move to the salvage piece, we allow the insured right of first refusal. So we are coming up with a replacement cost for the insurance company. Then we're determining a salvage recovery. So if the insured wants to match that price, let them buy it back.
Almost like auto claims with total loss. And I love my car. I want to keep it. So you can sometimes buy back the salvage. And it's fascinating. So it's the same thing with jewelry.
Yeah.
One of the questions that came up with me recently, I have a claim right now for a person that has a very clearly chipped stone, and she does not want to surrender the stone at all. But the chip is too major to really be a good candidate for just recutting and polishing. But the stone itself is a low value diamond itself. It has a lot going on in it separate to the damage. And she really, really doesn't. She really wants the stone to keep the stone. So we're talking about a position to buy it back. But she said to me, first of all, well, if it was a house, you wouldn't be asking me for my house if my house was damaged. And that was her take in the insurance company, to which I said, well, this is jewelry. This is not a home. This is not a refrigerator. This is not a car. This is a jewelry item. And this is what I know for jewelry, that this particular component upon settlement does become the property of your insurance company. But we're working it out where she has the option, to buy it back, because she is the person that's going to have the most value invested in this stone. And it's very good faith for the insurance company to allow her the opportunity. The insurance company doesn't look like the evildoer here, right, even though they're stepping up to the plate and replacing the diamond as well. So we'll work out a settlement where she essentially will buy it back at whatever cost the insurance company would make had that diamond gone to auction if it was recut and resold. Okay. So that's a really good resolution for everybody involved. And my client will have a new diamond in her ring very shortly. So that's exciting.
Can I ask a couple follow-up questions? Because I'm just curious, how often do folks come back and say, I want to retain? Because you're right. I mean, jewelry has a lot of sentimental attachment to folks. And
it's a very small percentage. Yeah, because I think that sometimes it raises a red flag for the insurance company as they're handling the claim. A lot of times the customers are just happy to have the item replaced. It's those situations where they ask for the stone or they're fearful of sending it or letting it go, that we have to then just delicately approach that, because the claim can't progress. Let's say in this situation, the customer wouldn't even let us see it. Is it really damaged? There's just something there. So before you can move forward with the claim, an expert on behalf of the insurance company needs to have eyes on this piece. This particular claim, the jeweler looking at the piece of course he's going to say it's damaged. They see dollar signs. They see a replacement. So that's very frequent. A lot of times we're getting claims because a piece is getting clean and they're told it's chipped. What this jeweler didn't know, because he didn't do the original appraisal, is this was an included stone. So when the claim came to us and we saw an included stone and now someone's saying it's damaged, we definitely wanted to see the stone to make sure it was new. And it was a claim, but that extra step was important for the insurance company. It could have saved them a claim. We've had claims denied where we see it and it's not damaged or new damage because we can see that appraisal.
There's also the case too, another part where when the insurance company looks heroic is when a client is very underinsured and they have a damaged diamond and the cost to replace the diamond might be thousands more today than what it was and what their coverage limit is. But if we find that the damage is minimal, or we think with recutting the stone, it will only lose 0.01 carat, 0.02 carats, then it will still have its high value, especially if that diamond is something that's greater than 1 carat or 2 carats, and it will stay over that weight limit, then the loss in value is very minimal. And the diamond will still look the same, and the person will actually get a healthy diamond back and be able to do it within their coverage versus being so undervalued, which is a good segue to Digipraise, Ali.
Ah.
Oh, thank you. One of the things that concerned us was underinsured customers. So we're handling the claims, and we're seeing people do not update their appraisals. So what happens is when they have a claim, coverage is capped at the last appraisal they turned in to buy insurance. We were seeing a lot of people underinsured, and it concerned us. Why are these appraisals not getting updated? It was inconvenient, and the insurance companies weren't telling the customer to do it.
Right.
A lot of customers thought, well, if they're increasing my home, they're increasing my assets. It's not the case. So Digipraise is a very simple way for your customers or you as an owner of jewelry to obtain an updated appraisal. You already have your first appraisal. You probably have the piece insured. You just want to know the right value. So that's where we receive the patent, is because it's a fraud mitigation tool. Because Gemcor partners with insurance companies, we just wanted to make sure that the customers really had these pieces of jewelry they were asking us to update. So we put a lot of tools in place to make sure the client is in possession of this asset. So the patent is as it's called attestation is the fancy term for it. So a customer could take a photo of their existing appraisal, their deck page, a photo of the asset, and then our same experts at Gemcor can, use our industry knowledge to update that value for the customer very quickly. So
you can do it just through photographs?
We're using photographs. There's some tools in place that force them to use the phone's camera. But yeah, it's photo. We're not writing the appraisal from the photograph. We're taking the original appraisal as long as it's well written, and we're doing that update.
Okay.
And it's a great tool for the carriers. It keeps them from having to deny a piece. Like, let's say a person wants to put a piece on the policy, and the appraisal is too many years old. But it also allows them to help their customers have the right coverage, which it allows a claim to resolve smoothly. It allows them to collect the right premium. Our carrier partners are all adopting, Digipraise as a solution for their. I don't want to say all. They're investigating, and it's a great tool for them.
And it saves so much time and money for the insured themselves versus going to physically visit a jeweler, drop their piece off, have a trust issue with what's going to happen to my piece. So the piece will never leave the possession of the client. We're really excited about this and positioning ourselves well with just also the insureds and the clients who, could really benefit from the service too.
Yeah. And for the adjuster, it saves a potentially difficult conversation when saying that appraisal is so old that, yeah, that's the most we can pay, but it's worth much more now, potentially, maybe. So.
Yeah, no, it's really tough when you have a jewelry claim in general. The adjusters that are listening, jewelry means something to your customer, whether it's a $500 piece that they insured, or it's $50,000, or it's higher. There's a story behind that purchase. There's a story behind it being passed down. There's some emotional connection to this piece. And these claims need to be approached with that type of, empathy. So when they have that loss, they're already upset. To then tell them you have to come out of pocket, that's salt on the wound. Yeah, it's a very tough spot. Yeah.
We are ready to move on to the key takeaways.
Oh.
So, Allie and Dana, what can we take away from this scenario?
There's a few things in this particular scenario. The importance of having the stone inspected, just because the jeweler said it was damaged, having an expert have eyes on it. A flawed diamond does not necessarily equate to a damaged stone. So I think that that's one important takeaway. And the segue to Digipraise was over the importance of the appraisals. Us having that appraisal to look at was our way to know that this stone was originally an I-1. So a good appraisal would have the details of that original diamond. And it's really important that the carriers are seeking well-written appraisals when they're putting the pieces on the policy. And then the last takeaway was that customer service piece of knowing that this customer wanted to keep this particular piece for its sentimental value, and then finding a solution for that. In this scenario, those would be my takeaways.
No, I mean, on top of that, I think going back to the appraisal, just one last piece, now more than ever, it's really important to ask for certification if the diamond in this specific piece is certified, not just natural, but lab grown as well. Specifically, if it's a GIA certified diamond, there will be a map of the diamond on the certificate, and that map will show where imperfections in the stone lie. So it's really important, and we could use that as a tool to say if this particular imperfection, chip, flaw, it might already be in the cert, it might already be pre-existing, and that's another tool that we could use to determine if it's a new damage or something that's already been there, and that relates to coverage. So I just wanted to add that component.
Okay, great. And Mike, where can an adjuster go to learn more?
Well, obviously, you can reach out to Gemcor. That would be a good idea because you can tell these ladies definitely know their business there. No question there. But plrb.org can help as well. We have a cool module for CE credit that also stars both of our guests here today. So check that out. I think that's called Jewelry Evaluation and Adjustment. So check that out. Education Hub. You can always go under coverage questions. Tim, of one of our wonderful coverage counsel like Tim, can always address questions about things like pairs and sets and all those weird stuff that we have in the policy contract about valuation and what we'll pay if it's not scheduled, all that fun stuff. So check us out, plrb.org. Would you share those in the show notes, Tim, since Brennan departed us and isn't here today?
I sure will. And there you will also find a recap of the key points from this episode and links to our social media. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us. And please give us a call at 630-509-8704 and leave a voicemail to share your adjuster story. We will see you next time.
Tim, have we had any phone calls yet that you know of?
And no, but I've only been in this spot for 1 week, so we got to track down Brennan and ask him.
So probably not, but now that Tim has taken over, Brennan, so yeah, we might actually get a phone call.
Get a flood of them.
Phone is ringing off the hook as we speak. It's going to be awesome. So thank you both very much.
Nice
Thanks
seeing
for
you.
having us.
Take care.
The views and opinions expressed in this resource are those of the individual speaker and not necessarily those of the Property and Liability Resource Bureau, its membership, or any organization with which the presenter is employed or affiliated. The information, ideas, and opinions are presented as information only and not as legal advice or offers of representation. Individual policy language and state laws vary, and listeners should rely on guidance from their companies and counsel as appropriate.